Hello, my name is Peggy Erickson,
And I'm Kim Harrison.
and we are your co-facilitators for the next 9 weeks of the Leading Edge certification course. And we think it's important to actually introduce ourselves so you know a little bit about us. Kim, why don't you start talking about yourself?
Okay, thanks, Peggy. Welcome to our course. We're really looking forward to having you online with us over the next 9 weeks. Traditionally, this course can be done in 6 to 7 weeks. However, we've decided to give our participants 9 weeks because we all understand that you are working full-time and this is something that is in addition to what you do. We really are looking forward to seeing some of the really nice products that our participants will create by giving you that little extra time and the support. Having the 9 weeks will allow you to explore all of the resources that are available at the Leading Edge, which there are some great videos and articles, wonderful readings to do, and then be able to share what you've learned with your classmates through our discussion boards, through the different projects that you'll create. It really is nice to have that extra time. I believe we had much shorter.
We had 4 weeks, and 4 weeks is not enough to really be able to turn around and use a product in the classroom. I mean, I think I went back and had to redo some of my stuff just to be able to use it as examples in the Leading Edge certification that I did back in the fall.
Yeah.
So I think that the 9 weeks is really helpful. However, you don't want to take advantage of the fact that you have 9 weeks. Actually, although, it's an online course and you can submit and work whenever you want to, there are parameters for actually submitting your homework, your assignments. And, if you have personal issues or you have a real challenge in terms of coordinating your work with your online course, you just email us, and we do make exceptions and we do work with you. So the dates for submitting a wiki project, for an example, can be extended for those situations where you really need that time, that extra time. Right, Kim?
Oh, definitely. It's really important that you communicate that with us because we don't know what's going on, in your personal lives. It may impact the amount of time you have for Leading Edge. One thing that we do want to make sure that you really stay on top of over the next 9 weeks are the discussion boards. That's a huge part of really building the online community that we hope to achieve with this group. If you're not posting to the discussion boards your initial response and responding to others in a timely way, it really impacts the flow and the information and really the richness of the discussions that are going on. So discussion boards are a real critical piece.
Yeah, I, through other courses, felt that I didn't pay attention actually to the minimum requirement of 2 to 3 postings to other students. Instead, just went with the flow of the rich discussion. And I think I remember with one of the ETLO courses, there was something like 64 responses in the discussion board, but the net result was that a lot of resources had been shared by the participants, and so we were able to save those resources and have access to those resources. So there's incredible benefits, and it's such a self-supporting process, the discussion group, the community that it allows to build. So I'm hoping that you experience that as well.
Oh, definitely.
Now, Kim, we said we were going to introduce ourselves.
I know.
We got right into the message that we wanted to give you in regards to the course itself, in terms of the elements that make you successful in the online course, and the discussion is definitely one of them, and meeting the assignment requirements is the other, right?
Yes, definitely.
So now, Kim, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, yes. Well, you did receive an email from Peggy and myself welcoming you to the class, and there's a little bit of information in there. And in case you didn't get a chance to read that, we'll share a little bit more. I work here at the Sacramento County Office of Education. I am a professional development coordinator. I've been here for about 7 years. I'm coming up on into my 7th year. At the county office, I work for CTAP Region 3. And we support teachers across the region with integrating technology into the curriculum. At our county office, we've been teaching online in our MyCTAP environment. Some of you may have taken some classes there. I know, Pig, you taught a couple classes there too as well. These are synchronous online classes through Adobe Connect, and we've been doing that here at the county office for about 5 years.
Now that's at myctap.org?
myctap.org.
Oh, okay.
Definitely check it out if you haven't already.
Are they archived too?
Yes, they are. They are.
Okay.
All of our instructors record the classes so that if you miss something, you can actually go back and get the recording and kind of view it on your own and work through the steps that are presented by the instructor.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've had that experience of working with, the synchronous online learning. And then, of course, we use Moodle here, and this will be my first opportunity as an instructor with Haiku, which I think I like better than Moodle, actually. That's our learning management system, so I've created some courses along those lines. The other thing that I've done in terms of distance learning or online learning is my master's program. I am from IMET Cohort 2, and some of you might be IMET grads as well. That's the Master's in Educational Technology from Sacramento State University, which is 70% online and 30% face-to-face. So
nice.
I
So
did that.
That's a blended.
Yes, it is a
online learning.
blended. We would come over. At the time I lived in the Eastern Sierra, and I would come over a couple times a semester for class, and everything else was done through discussion boards, through Tapped In, which was a virtual chat room that we would go in and do lectures and sharing and whatnot. So I was a student from a very remote area taking that class. So that's kind of my background in terms of online, an online learner as well as some online teaching. How about you, Peggy? Give us kind of a rundown, because I know you've done some really neat things with online learning.
Well, before I get to the online learning, I just want to let you know that I am the director for the California Technology Assistance Project for Region 1, and I am located at the Ukiah Mendocino County Office of Education. So if any of you in the region want to come visit, certainly I look forward to that. I know we're going to have a face-to-face there on the 16th, so I'm excited about that. In terms of my experience with online learning, it actually started when I was director of educational technology in St. Helena, and I wanted to bring in online courses for AP students, students taking AP courses.
Yeah.
And that was very successful, and I ended up not only coordinating that, but actually being the teacher who mentored the students taking those courses.
Oh, how fun.
And so I really got an insight into what the students were going through. And back then, Apex Learning was not what it was today.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there was a lot of computer configurations that you had to figure out for yourself before you could actually get online. I also went through a graduate program with Portland State University for e-systems and leadership, and that was a great experience in terms of the connection with the people that were participating in the course, and the resources, and the fact that some of the people that were teaching those courses are leading people in the field in terms of writing books. So it was exciting getting, one of them is actually here in California at College of the Redwood up in Humboldt.
Oh, okay.
And then, like Kim, I went for the boot camp that 4-week boot camp. And that was really intense.
Yes, it was. It was.
Because I was providing training during the summer on top of that. So it was like I didn't have a free summer on top of it. But it was well worth it in terms of seeing what the leading edge certification did. Because that certification or this certification really focuses a little bit more on, making it engaging for students. And I think that's really important.
I think so too.
And then I've been also chosen a couple of times now from the EdTech Leaders Online to provide their courses. And so I went through a course called Facilitating Online Professional Development, and that was very good. In fact, some of the resources that you'll find in this course come from that course because I think they're valuable for any teacher. And then I'm currently going for another ETLO course called eDesign. It's my second eDesign course. You never have enough because they keep on changing things.
Yes, they do, yeah.
So that's a little bit of the background. And I have already led a cohort of leading edge certification participants in the fall, and I learned a lot from them as well, and the discussion was very rich, and the feedback was very positive. So I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. What about you, Kim?
Oh, definitely. One thing that Peggy and I want to definitely communicate to you is that we really are here to support you and help you get through this process. Although it is fairly rigorous, the content is just really wonderful, and it really, even if you've been teaching online before, you will walk away with some new tools and tricks and a new perspective of what online teaching is. I know I just did a presentation to some principals last Friday about the online learning and leading edge, and having heard a panel talk about their online programs from different districts here in Sacramento, it was really interesting. The comments that were shared by that panel, and I was able to kind of summarize that up, that online learning isn't for every student, nor is it for every teacher, because it does have you draw on some different a set of skills than what you would normally have in the classroom. You have to kind of rethink what your role is as an online teacher, and we'll be talking about that.
And that's really important because recently I've been working with a couple of folks on developing a needs assessment, because I had developed one for our region, a needs assessment for students and for teachers. Because that's it drives at the point that it's not necessarily that they're not made for taking a course online. It might mean that they need preparation and training and orientation. And so you can't say no to one student because they're not ready. Rather, have in place a system that prepares them to be ready for an online course. So that, to me, is really important. The other thing is, the leading edge certification has been updated since it was first launched, and that's because the INACL standards have also been updated, and so you're going to see, some new standards in there, and some standards that have been expanded, which is exciting, actually.
Yes, definitely.
And that also comes from feedback from practitioners in the field. So this is definitely something that's going to continue to evolve, and you'll want to stay tapped into that. And we'll talk about that during the course.
Oh, definitely. Now, Peggy, you mentioned orientation. Do you want to tell the folks where they might go for Region 1 for their orientation?
Okay, well, Mendocino folks, you know that the Ukiah Mendocino County Office of Education is at 2240 Old River Road. I'll be in the Dogwood Building in the CTAP Media Lab. That's where we're going to meet. We'll be there from 8:30 to 4:30. We might finish a little bit earlier than that. And that's where we're going to cover everything from the beginning and start to build our community of learners, because that seems to be one of the most important things as it relates to retention.
Yes.
So when I say retention, I'm really thinking about K-16 students. It's really important to retain their attention in the course, and part of that is belonging to, a community.
Community.
So
Exactly.
this face-to-face is to build community, to make you feel comfortable about being online perhaps for the first time. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, we're going to do our own orientation here at the county office in Sacramento, and we are at the old Mather Field Air Force Base. So if you're familiar with where that's at, it's at I think we're 10474 Mather Boulevard, and you can always go to SCOE.net, I believe, and get some driving directions, or drop me an email and I'll be happy to give you the directions to get here. We'll be meeting on the same day that Peggy's group will be meeting, but we'll be meeting in the evening from 4:30 to 6:30. When Peggy and I decided to co-facilitate our leading edge, she had already set up her training and I had already set up mine, and rather than redesign our orientations, we decided to keep them the way that we originally had planned to do it. With my group, we'll be meeting in the computer lab. Feel free to bring your own laptop if you would like. We do have computers in there for you to use. And we'll just be kind of doing some similar stuff to what Peggy's doing, but in a more condensed version, obviously, because we won't have as much time. Kind of a getting to know you activity, so everyone can put a name with a face and get a little background about each other. And it's really important to me as your facilitator at that orientation is to really give you the real scope of what Leading Edge is going to cover for the next 9 weeks. And it's not at all to scare you away, but really just to make you aware of this really isn't a check the boxes, do the assignments kind of training. You really are going to, have to put yourself into it and really create some really amazing stuff, and in terms of products that you can use in your classroom.
It is a 60-hour.
It is 60 hours.
It is 60 hours.
And it may be more than 60 hours for some. It may be less than 60 hours. But it's kind of a ballpark.
Kim, I am going to be offering some tutorial sessions.
Yes, I was going to have you mention this.
The first week. From 3:30 to 5:30 that cover some of the Web 2.0 tools that you're going to be using. So if you're not familiar with some of the Web 2.0 tools, then you'll want to sign up for those. The other thing that I want to let you know is that you can call me on my cell phone if you have any issues as well. And I believe I put that in my information in the email. Yeah. So don't hesitate to contact us. And I'm going to let you know right away that in my cohort, I did have 2 people that did drop out, and it was because they did not understand the time factor involved in taking the course and completing the assignments and participating in the discussion. So it's very important to have realistic goals and expectations of the course. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. And I think that's important to share that with you up front, because we want you to be successful.
Absolutely.
We don't want you to get in and feel like you're over your head and struggling. We're here to support you. We're here to help you through it, to answer your questions, extend your deadlines if need be. But most importantly, we really want to have all of our folks finish the Leading Edge with a portfolio that represents high quality work that would earn you your Leading Edge online teacher certification, which you will get at the end. The nice thing about the portfolio is you are building it as you go. You don't have to wait until the very end to start plugging in your artifacts.
Yeah, that was something that I started with the LEC cohort, that I felt that if they built their eyesight at the beginning, that they could just, as they went, add in their wiki projects that are part of that portfolio process, and then go in at the end and put in the reflections. And that saves a lot of time. So I got good feedback on that process. We're going to be including that process or that strategy in this cohort as well.
Okay. Well, do we have anything else we want to add, Peggy?
No, I'm just looking forward to their thought process and how they approach things and the richness of their experience and expertise and how they apply that to their course and projects.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely. I know when we went through our boot camp, it was just wonderful to see what our colleagues created, and I know I walked away with new websites, new tools to use that I hadn't used before.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward not only from seeing what you guys create, but from learning from our participants as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And finding
it's a learning process for us as well. Absolutely. Well, it's around the corner, and we'll see you all online.
Thank
you.
Thank you.